enough to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You never know till it's over. So pretty it hurts, just beware of the thorns.
Hello everyone. Today I'd like to do a video about going to the whole segregation and while you're in prison and not being guilty of anything. So if you like prison content, subscribe, comment. I want to hear from y'all. I'll try to answer all the comments. Okay, here we go. I'm going to tell a few stories, a couple stories, and then talk about on me, and then talk about others. The first story takes place in Farmington, and to tell it, I have to back up a little bit. I kind of brushed over these stories a little bit, told them a little bit in another video, but I didn't go into detail on everything that was said. I told you about beating my cellie up because he wouldn't sign a room move, and he basically, he told me I had to finish what I started. Anyway, when they had me up there and they was trying to pin this on me, they couldn't prove it. They told me, this major told me, I'm going to get you. One way or another, I'm going to get you. I know you beat that guy up, your cellie up, and I'm going to get you. No matter what I have to do. He says, and tell your cronies, your little buddies, that starting Monday, I'll be working A side, and I'll be watching you guys. Well, he did. I told him, but he wasn't lying. Anytime I was on the yard and he saw me, he would pat search me. It was almost to the point of harassment. It got to where all I'd do would go out there and do my little workout and then try to get back to the housing unit or something, before he saw me and wanted to mess with me. And then, I told you about this too, about this guy putting a razor blade on a toothbrush and planting it on this guy, and he said I was involved in it. But this major was all over that. And I went to the hole for investigation, and so one time they take me up there to where you're interrogated at, and it was a female guard. And when we get up there, and they're berating me, and saying, and I'm telling them I want a polygraph, but I want my lawyer. And they said, you can have a polygraph, but you can't have a lawyer. She tells them that, hey, everybody in the housing unit will tell you that they don't think he did this. He causes no problems, unless it comes to him, And they basically told her that if she wanted to keep her job, to shut up. Anyway, they sent me back to the hole, On the way back, she was crying. She goes, I tried. And I said, it's all right, see, he's just out to get me. And if it's not this, it's going to be something else. Don't worry about it. She goes, well, I just don't want to lose my job. And I said, don't worry about this, This is, I said, I don't think he can personally fire you myself. But I said, that's neither here or there. I said, he's out to get me. Later that day, I got wrote up for dangerous contraband. And I told you about being sent to Potosi, and the other guy that was actually had something to do with it got sent to Crossroads Correctional Center. But that's the way things are. And behind the walls, it was even worse. You know, people go to hole for no reason. I just got through talking to a guy who spent 8 months in 5C. For those of you who have never been at the walls, 5C is like, they basically put you in there with nothing, you know. He said it was wintertime. Most of the time it was wintertime, you know, for the few months that he was there, 8 months, and he said 4 or 5 months it was cold, and they opened the window on him, you know. But he did say that he did get in fights with the guards and stuff a lot. But still, that's no way to, you know, treat somebody. We're going to fast forward to Licking, South Central Correctional Center. At this time, well, up until this time, you could buy Panasonic stereos, you know, double cassette. They're supposed to take the mics out of them, and they did for the most part. But mine had a mic in it, and I didn't know it. So one day, you know, people were making homemade mics, earbuds, and they found out about it. So they was going around checking people's stereos, and they checked mine, and they found out it had a mic in it. Take me to the hole for investigation, and I'm down there 4 months because they have to listen to all my cassette tapes. Yeah, back then I had cassette tapes. But anyway, I mean, all the way up until even after everybody else was getting CD players, I still had that cassette plates, cassette tapes, and a Walkman and a stereo. So they was asking me where I got the mic. I said, well, you know, the mic is factory made. So where could I have got it? Think I went to Radio Shack and got it? But they wrote me up for it. I was found guilty of it. And the reason why, in my opinion, is that they didn't want to take responsibility for their own mistake of not taking it out. And I don't know why it took 4 months to listen to 20 tapes anyway. We're only allowed to have 20. That's what I had. Took them 4 months to listen to all of them. And I mean, you would think you could just go skip, you know, listen, skip, listen, skip, listen, you know. But they wanted to make sure there was no staff on there. You know, that I hadn't recorded any staff saying anything, because that's a security risk. I bet it is. I remember when this one guy recorded this sergeant cussing him out, sent it out to his lawyer, got the person fired. So ever since then, it's been a security risk to the institution. Really, they're wanting to save their own ass. That's what it all comes down to. It tells you how dirty they are. You know, everybody thinks that all correctional officers are nice and good. It's corruption in there. And if they want you in the hole, they'll put you in the hole. Anyway, they gave me my stereo back, but they told me I had to send it home because it had been altered, because it had a mic in it. So I didn't, you know, my people don't want that. So when I went up to the proper room to get it, you know, they asked me, did I want to mail it out or have my people pick it up on a visit? And I just slammed it down on the floor, and I said, you can throw it in the trash. And I said, you know, my people don't want this. I said, you know, you guys are scandalous. And they said, well, you could have not tore it up. I said, why? So you guys could keep it and use it yourselves? You know, I said, I already see somebody else's stereo over there that you're using, playing radio. And, but I've seen them just come onto the yard and just get people, or in the housing unit or wherever, in the gym, and just get somebody and to take them to the hole. And they have no idea why they're going to the hole. You know, in many cases, it's worse than me. At least I knew they was out to get me. A lot of people don't know that, until they're being cuffed and taken to the hole. Segregation. Ad said administrative segregation and disciplinary segregation. But it's all. I just wanted people to know that it's not. If you have somebody that works in corrections, I'm not saying that they're all like that, but there's a lot of people going and doing bad things. It's the same people. Same with guards that bring in weed and other contraband. I don't have a problem with that. They're trying to make a little extra money. What I got a problem with, even though it is illegal, what I got a problem with is they're bringing contraband like drugs in, and then shaking people down, their cells down, busting them with drugs, whatever, and taking them to the hole. Right? Giving them a conduct violation and taking them to the hole. That's what's wrong. It's kind of hypocritical. It just tells you how these people are. Now, some of them don't do that. Some will leave you alone. But I ain't talking about those. This video is about the ones who are out to get you. And there's a lot of them. If they don't get you one way, they'll get you another way. They harass people. I did this video where this one guard kept harassing this guy until the guy hit him upside the head with a crock pot. Took him to the hole. Yeah, they took him to the hole because, of course, he hit this guard, but he was provoked into doing that. So it's not always what it seems, and they go home each day, and talk about, probably, I'm thinking they talk bad about the prisoners and saying what they had to do and what this one did or what that one did, when actually they're just as bad. And if there's any correctional officers that, I know there's a couple, but I kind of know them, so they're all right. And they quit their jobs because of stuff like that. There's one of my subscribers, he told me he quit because his superiors wouldn't listen to him, and that he didn't like the way the prisoners were being treated, and he quit. But any other correctional officer have anything to say, I'm glad to hear from you. Good or bad, I don't care. I'll listen to you. Say your piece. And in my opinion, if you're a good correctional officer and you watch something bad happen and don't do nothing about it, you're just as bad. At least that woman tried to say something, and they told her she'd get fired. She wasn't silent. She at least tried. And I ain't mad about her for not continuing to try, because they was going to get me one way or another. If she had gotten me out of that, or I'd gotten out of that somehow or another, they would have found something else to get me with. And I almost think that the whole thing, I used to think that he just found an opportunity to get me on that. But the more I think about it, I've thought about it since then, and I think that there's a chance that the whole thing could have been set up. I don't know that for sure. I can't prove that. but it wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.